Hello there and welcome back to some more Forza Motorsport 7. Today we're taking a look at another car pack. This is the K1 Speed Pack, also known as the April DLC. It costs $7 or your regional equivalent. It is available in the car pass, however it is the final car pack to be included with the car pass. It includes 7 cars. Let's take a look what's inside. We begin with the 1976 Chevrolet 76 Greenwood Corvette, 700 horsepower, 629 foot-pound torque, 2,800 pounds of weight, R807 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. I do not know a whole lot about this car. I know it's a very heavily modified C3 Corvette, which is my least favourite generation of Corvette, so I don't particularly care for the way it looks, but a lot of people would probably disagree with me on that. It does have some pretty sizable tyres, and I believe this is the only car in the game that actually has tyre writing on the tyres, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming in-game it'll probably compete with stuff like the 300ZX race cars that we've got, some of the Group 5 cars and so on and so forth. Yeah, not my personal cup of tea, but it is a interesting car, certainly. Next up, 1948 Ferrari 166 Intersport, 129 horsepower, 117 foot-pound torque, 1,517 pounds of weight, D-Class 329 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. Another car I honestly cannot tell you anything about. I'm assuming it's some form of old racing Ferrari. It looks very weird. It looks weirder than that Barchetta thing that we've already got in the game. It is quite a horrific looking thing, actually, to be honest with you. If you look at it head on, it looks quite terrified. Yeah, I really don't know much about this. It's in the Bertha Grand Prix class, so it's pretty insane when homologated, but other than that, I honestly can't tell you anything about this car. This next car I can tell you a lot about, though. This is the 2018 Honda Odyssey. I can't wait for this. 280 horsepower, 262 foot-pound torque, 4,562 pounds of weight, E298 PI, front-engined front-wheel drive. We have a minivan, ladies and gentlemen, in Forza Motorsport, and I could not be happier. It is the fantastic Honda Odyssey Elite, which is basically the best minivan you can buy. Has loads of leather, has a lovely V6 motor in it. It's not quite the Toyota Previa that we'd all secretly hope for, but yeah, the Odyssey is a very exciting car. I really like this car being in the game, and also it has one very interesting engine swap. I won't quite go into what it is, but once you know about it, yeah, I'm sure I'll have lots of fun with that. I'll probably end up doing a build video on this, to be honest with you. Next up, 2017 Maserati Levante S, 424 horsepower, 427 foot-pound torque, 4,649 pounds of weight, B506 PI, front-engined all-wheel drive. Interestingly enough, 50-50 weight distribution in an SUV. That's interesting. Yes, the Maserati Levante, one of many SUVs that are in this game now, and yes, there's many jokes about, well, all the car passes just include SUVs. Me personally, I've just got to the point where I don't really care at this point. I don't personally see them as any less valid than any other car in the game. As far as the Levante goes, as far as sort of this SUV trend, the Levante is probably one of my more favourable ones of these. I don't hate it particularly. I'd rather this be an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, but the Levante is quite nice. It does look quite good in white as well. It will probably be one of the better handling SUVs as well, so that is something. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of it, I'm not really complaining about it, it's just kind of alright. Next up, a 1985 Nissan 83 Electramotive Engineering GTP-ZX-Turbo, 641 horsepower, 506 foot-pound torque, 1,896 pounds of weight, P968 PI, mid-engined rear-wheel drive. In the trailer they had this racing against the 787B. I don't know if that means anything or if it's just comparable to that car. It's a cool looking car. Again, I'm really sorry, I have no idea about anything to do with this car. It looks pretty cool. I'm sure it is a pretty cool car. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty wacky as well. I can imagine it's quite nice to drive, because the Jaguar XJR5 that we got last time was quite nice to drive. Yeah, this looks like it'll be much of the same. I'm really sorry, don't know much about the car, but I'm sure it's a cool addition. I guess there are people who are fans of prototype race cars. Next up, 1980 Porsche 924 Carrera GTS, 245 horsepower, 247 foot-pound torque, 2,469 pounds of weight, C-Class 433 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. And when I heard there was a Porsche 924 coming to this game, I was not a fan. I really do not like the 924 or the 944 for that matter. But then I saw which one this actually was, and this is a rather cool looking thing. I believe this is some form of racing homologation special. It looks absolutely mental. The statistics are absolutely mental on it as well. It also has a fantastic wide body option available for it. Unfortunately, the wheel fitment's completely off on it. I'm assuming that'll be patched at some point. But yeah, this car does have a wide body, and it does look absolutely terrific with that wide body. Even without the wide body, though, it is pretty cool. And finally, the 1966 Porsche 906 Carrera 6, 210 horsepower, 144 foot-pound torque, 1,360 pounds of weight, a 640 PI mid-engined rear-wheel drive. Another car, can't tell you a lot about. I believe it's very collectible, so that's something. It's a very weird looking car as well. Kind of reminds me of that Audi Quattro S1 prototype thing that they were going to build before Group B went bust, even though it's like completely older than that and all the rest of it, so yeah, interesting, certainly, but nothing really for me, and that's sort of this car pack in general. I mean, the Levante's okay, the Odyssey's the Odyssey's awesome, I love the Odyssey. The Levante's okay, the 924, it's pretty cool, but other than that, this pack just doesn't have anything for me, really. And that kind of really sums up the car pass era. All these packs had one cool car, then two okay cars, and then everything else was just sort of there. We did get some cool cars, obviously we've got the Chiron, I'm trying to think of the others, Subaru 360, Citroen 2CV, and all the rest of it, but honestly the car pass this year has been very, very underwhelming, kind of like it was in Forza Motorsport 6. If I did have to say for you to buy one pack, which pack was a standout, the January pack. If you're going to get any of these packs, get the January pack. It was terrific. It had the Lotus Elise GT1, 2CV, the Porsche, the Subaru. It was all fantastic, but other than that, yeah, it's been pretty underwhelming. Oh, this one was cool because I had the Giulia in it as well, but yeah, other than that, pretty underwhelming end to the car pass era of Forza Motorsport 7, and yeah, that literally is the car pass in general, just very underwhelming. Anyways, well, thank you all very much for watching this video on this DLC. Please tell me if you want to see any videos regarding some of the cars in this pack. I'm definitely going to do a build on this Odyssey, or maybe even two. So hopefully you stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.